Hello and welcome to this episode of Community Connections, airing right here on OROMIA11. I am your host, Anna Orr, and today I have a very special guest. I have Dr. M.J Winston, and she is known as the Executive Director of Bridges of Hope Leadership Academy across the Twin Cities, as well as now making a small pivot to becoming an author. She is here talking to us about the book Behind the Laugh. This is going to be an episode you really won't want to miss. Stay tuned. Welcome to the program, Dr. Winston.
Thank you so much for the invite.
You are welcome. I am so excited to have you here. I know you from doing so much amazing work with Bridges of Hope Leadership Academy, working with men and women across the state of Minnesota in substance abuse, but you are here in another capacity today. We are talking about your second book, Behind the Laugh, which is recently just released and is available on Amazon for people that are watching. We're going to make sure that we highlight that and provide the link for you all to get that towards the end of the segment, so please stay with us. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invite.
Now, many know you being the executive director of Bridges of Hope Leadership Academy. For those that are unfamiliar, can you talk about the work of Bridges of Hope Leadership Academy?
I absolutely love what I do. I am trying to bring influence to the community through leadership training. And so this is our 20th year anniversary. I want to have a celebration before the end of the year. But I have worked in all capacities of the community, training centers, agencies, corporations, and I've also at the Outreach Center. We was there for about 3 or 4 years, the Engagement Center over in North Minneapolis. I just want to teach leadership. I do. I want to let everybody know who desire to be a leader that they can be a leader.
I think there are a lot of people that possess leadership qualities and don't necessarily know what to do with them. And don't know how to hone those skills. So I think it is very important for you to be doing this work.
Yes.
Now you are here sharing with us the work of the book Behind the Laugh that just dropped not too long ago. Can you talk to me about where the title Behind the Laugh came from?
Anna, this is what happened. Years ago, I would say about 30, I wanted to tell a story. I just didn't know how because I was still healing. And because I was still healing, I didn't have the mindset to be able to write it then, the book. But the book came from my life, from 5 to 13, the sexual abuse. And I knew that one day I would tell the story. It's just that I didn't know it was going to be 30-some years later. And it comes from me not revealing to no one about the abuse that I was going through. And so when we came up with the name, Anna, I was always a smiley person, even with everything that I was going through. I still smile. But behind that smile was pain and hurt. And that's why we named it Behind the Laugh.
I think that's a very important title. You oftentimes hear comedians say in interviews that the funniest people deal with the most pain behind the scenes.
Yes.
And I think you really are someone that represents that. People saw you being so happy and never knew that you were navigating such pain all of the time. Now, you stated that you didn't tell anyone that this was taking place. Can you explain to me a little bit more how you came to that?
Well, the abuser had told me that if I would ever tell, now look at me, 5 years old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that's when it stopped. He told me that if I would ever tell anyone, that I would get sent to an orphanage. And so I was with my mom for 5 years. Then my dad got me at 5. I went through that about my mom, the pain of that, and then coming right into some more pain now, more pain. And so it was 8 years, from 5 to 13.
Now, you being so young, how did you deal with being sexually assaulted for 8 years. Starting at 5, those are such formative years. And I know that you are more than likely not the only person watching this that has had to navigate something like that.
I really believe it was, I got to be truthful now, I believe it was angels that was there protecting me, especially mentally. I believe that the love that I got from my aunt, she gave me a lot of love, but she just wasn't able to rescue me, her or my father, because I was too scared to tell them. I would have been rescued, but I was too scared because of the threat and the bullying that I had got. So I really believe that because of some of the people that was in the neighborhood not knowing nothing, I believe my aunt first because of the home, the love, and I believe the teachers and just some of the people I was around helped me somehow. I got to be careful not to preach because the preacher can kind of come out too. But I believe that because of that love, it covered me. I believe I was covered even in the hurt.
You spoke about not being with your parents. You were living with relatives. If you don't mind, how did that situation come to be where you were living in a non-traditional, some would say, setting? You weren't with your parents.
Okay. I was with my mom for 5 years. And my mom said that my daddy came to her and said, I want to raise my child. And I think that was hard for mom, even though it was still 4 or 5 more, even at home at that time, 3 to 4. And then I really believe that mom just decided, let me let her go live with her dad. Because her dad, my father said he wanted me. And she allowed it. And when I was with my dad, driving, look at me, 5 years old, he did not take me to his home. He took me to his sister's home. Well, everything was happening.
Now, you spoke about being raised by your aunt and uncle and not living with your parents. In tandem with the sexual abuse, how do you feel like living with them versus your parents shaped your life?
I believe it shaped it in a positive way, even with all the hurt and pain because of her spirituality and because of her love. I just almost wish that she could have been a little bit more alert, more sensitive, and more observant of what was happening in the house. But she was the help. She worked at white people's homes. And she was gone from 9 to 1:30. And then my dad didn't live in the home. And so that's when a lot of it occurred, either late at night. But I believe even with all of that, going to church every Sunday, the spirituality component, the love, the community piece, I think that helped shape me to be able to deal with the pain. Even though all of that was going on, I thank God for the community and the people, but I thank God for the love.
You spoke about not disclosing to anyone because of the threats being made by your abuser. And you shared how the community and how love really helped you. Outside of the home, were you going to school at all?
Going to school every day, going to church 3 or 4, 5 times a week, and playing with the kids, jumping rope, rolling tires with the boys. I was a tomboy. That kept me afloat. And to be truthful, I think it kept me alive on the inside, dealing with all of that. Because I couldn't tell a friend. And we were in our teens when they found out. And then, to be truthful with you, Anna, a lot of them didn't know until the book came out.
How has that been? I know it's sometimes easier said than done to share your story when there's no audience. But when a book comes out, that goes out to the public, and then they get to consume your story. And it sometimes seems as if it's a reliving a trauma all over again. What has that experience been like for you, letting people in on parts of your life that they may have not known, even if they journeyed with you during some of that time?
They journeyed. It was a challenge when the book first came out last year. It seems like many of them were shocked. It was Mary Jo, you went through that? We never knew. And they loved my auntie pound cake. They loved coming over to our home. But most of them, Anna, was scared of my uncle. Because when they would come over and we would be in my room playing and having fun, from dolls to preteen to 13, he would never let me close the door when they would come over. We always had to leave the door open. I don't care if it was 4 of us in there, 2 or 1.
So he was being vigilant over you and your guests. Probably tried to ensure you all weren't discussing what was taking place. There's such a cultural adage amongst African Americans that what happens in the home stays in the home. And we know that far more times than not, that does more harm than good, because it stifles so many from being able to share what's going on. Do you feel like that also played a large part?
It did. It played a large part
for such a long time.
That was 8 years. I mean, not a friend. Even now, all of us are in our 60s, mostly, even the guys and the women that are still alive. Mary Jo, why you didn't say anything? Most of the girls that would come over, they knew it was something different about him, though. Because every now and then, Anna, he would try to say something to some of them. Many of them. I remember one year I went home and one of the young ladies said to me, Mary Jo, while you're in town, can I come to the hotel and talk with you? And she's 68. She's about 2 or 3 years older than me. And this was when we was about 5, 6, 7 years ago. And she said to me when she got to the hotel, well, nobody there but me and her. She said one night she spent the night with me. And she slept on the front. And she said he came and he whispered in her ear and tried to touch on her. She said she never told her mother, who is now gone. She said, I waited 40-some years to tell you.
That's a long time.
That was a long time.
That type of pain around.
I hope that she got some type of relief from just telling me. And I called the other day and told her sister to tell her to order the book from Amazon for her to know. It's a lot she didn't know.
I think that's powerful to have that recognition that when we feel like something is happening to us, we're under the belief it's not happening to someone else. But more times than not, and through the statistics, we find out that that is not true. If it is happening to one, more than likely there are more.
And there are more. There's more stories need to be released. More books. Need to be released right now. I saw it in all my work these 32, 35 years, even men and women. And I mean, just to hear the story, it seemed like I can't do even to facilitate one group. Whatever we talk about, something comes out. In every group I facilitate. I said, wait a minute, God, is that my assignment? To help people heal in that way? All of my groups, Anna, I always have somebody in all my 30-some years, either a male or a female.
That's very powerful. This month, the month of May, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And you have talked about disclosing some of your trauma here in this book and right here, right now in this episode with me. How have you actively taken care of your mental health moving forward from all of these situations that you disclose in the book?
Self-care is so important. I teach it on all of my workshops, all of my retreats, any of the classes that anybody take with me, because of my experience, because I held so much in for so long. That's not good, Anna. And that's what's happening now in our society. Look at the streets. Look at every block you walk down. You see somebody dealing with mental health. And so for me, I thank God for my nucleus. That's what I call my core people, my Peter, James, and John. I thank God for my core people and my nucleus. Yes, for some community too, but I'm a reader, I'm a researcher, and I'm always reading. Anything about the mind and soul is important to me, because I see it's such up on an attack right now in our communities all over the world. And with me doing outreach in the community, I see homelessness, I see mental health every single day of my life. And I'm so glad, for some reason, I think that love covered me to help me not have the unforgiveness, the pain that can stay in your life for so many years. And I think because of I'm active, I'm into reading, I'm into finding out anything that I could do to help somebody with the mind, the body, and the soul. Because I don't want nobody to experience what I did, even though I've heard deeper stories than mine that need to be told.
Now, for people that have heard this, because I know someone is going to watch this and say, where can I get the book? Where am I able to hunt down Behind the Laugh? Because I think this is a story that resonates with me. Where are they able to purchase the book?
Amazon. Amazon. Amazon has both of my books. It has Behind the Laugh right now, and they got a sale. So you could buy the book right off of Amazon. Don't have to go into no store. Amazon got it.
And they will send it right to your door.
Send it right to your door.
So if you are looking for the book Behind the Laugh on Amazon, you will type in Dr. Dr. M.J Winston, Winston, and the book will pop up. They have it available on Kindle as well as paper book. So you can hold it in your hand, or if you are like me and you like to listen to stories in your ear as you are going about your day, this will be a very interesting read as well as a listen. And I think it is very powerful. I just want to read a little bit of the overview for you, because when I was looking this up online, I said, if this doesn't stop somebody in their tracks and make them want to click add to cart, I don't know what will. It says that this book is a memoir of my life's history. The book will depict the story of my entire life in the beginning years. I will share the hardships of my early life and sexual abuse. Behind the Laugh will help individuals heal and no longer live in victim mode. This self-help book is for all people to feel healing, restoration, forgiveness, and renewal of the mind, body, soul, and heart. The primary goal for writing Behind the Laugh is to help build resiliency, joy, and hope to the heart of every person that reads this life-changing self-discovery book of love and resiliency. I think that is so powerful, that you not only wanted to share your story, but that your intention behind this was to help others. And we know how powerful being able to lift as we climb is. And so my hope is that someone is going to read this book and begin their journey of maybe forgiveness and reconciling some of the things that have happened to them so that they can be healed. Now, let me know one key takeaway that you want people to have when they leave reading this beautiful book, Behind the Laugh, or after they may come and hear you read excerpts out of the book. What is something that you want to stick with them?
You are not what you've been through. I think a lot of people continually live in that mode And sometimes we used to call it, and when I was a clinician, arrested development. Wherever they was hurt at, it's almost like they stopped growing and stopped wanting to learn and want to forgive and want to be able to know they can go to their next dimension, next level, the next goal, the next book. I think what I see is if I could help one person to know, yes, that's part of your testimony, but that don't depict who you really is. There was something that happened in your life. It's greatness on the inside of you. It's healing that's on the inside of you. Joy is waiting to be activated. But the arrested development has to be healed and delivered. And you got to be able to say, I don't have to carry this anymore. I am somebody. I'm a great man. I'm a great woman. I'm a great mother. I'm a great father. Yes, this happened to me. But I don't have to sit in that pain another 20, 30, or 40 years. Some people, Anna, they sat in that pain too many years. I couldn't do it. After 13, I had to do something. I had to break free. So I broke free by getting him almost at the place of getting caught. And after that, he did not mess with me no more in my life.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. Mm-hmm. You talked about missing some of the warning signs when you were around your aunt and around some of your other community. What are some of the warning signs that you want parents to start paying and people that are out in the community? We'll say community at large, because you know that we believe it takes a village to raise a child. And so other people outside of parents have to be vigilant. What are some of the things that you feel like they need to be paying attention, or questions they may need to be potentially asking their children, so that their children may be able to disclose to them if they're being harmed or if they're even feeling just uncomfortable?
And I wish my aunt would have said, she never did put the R in my name. Mary, are you okay? Is everything all right? Are you doing good, Mary? How do you feel? I wish it was more dialogue. But I got to remember 1963. Great things happened in 1963, but a lot was happening in 1963 that a lot of people didn't know. So you got to be alert. You got to, when your kids are not conversating with you about school or their life or the community or friendships or something, you need to start talking to find out. When you see that your children are somewhat isolated, because my aunt would call me when she would hear me in there crying, especially at the 6, 7, and 8 years old. And I would be in there crying after he would molest me. And she would say, Mary, come on and get in the bed with us. And I didn't stay, I wasn't in the front of her, I was in the middle of her. So somehow she didn't recognize. So you got to be able to, what the young people say now in the world and in the community, you got to recognize your child. You got to be able to know that you know their pattern of their communication, of their personality. When you see that they act scared or timid or something is going on, something is going on. Something is going on. You got to communicate, Anna. That's number one. You got to be able to have discernment. That's what we call it spiritually. You got to be able to know that you know what's going on. Because I was around a lot of greatness. Even though I was around that greatness, the alertness and the discernment wasn't all the way activated. I don't know if it was just, I don't know what to do. This 1963, what do I do? This is my husband. This the main person that's providing for me. What do I say? What about the child? What about the child? Ooh, Anna, what about the child? You got to be alert. You got to communicate. And nowadays, I'm even concerned about the communication. Oh, because mom and dad is so busy. Even in 2025. You got to be able to know, look at all what's happening now. They looking for a 16-year-old right now. He been gone 20 days. Mom was on the TV last night. You got to be aware. You got to know, Anna, that you know through communication. Let me see if my baby all right. How you doing? A check-in. Once or twice a week. What's going on? You're going to know something.
I think those are very important notes for community members and parents alike that are around our children, that they need to be vigilant and start asking questions, plan to communicate, check in with your children so that you notice if there is a shift in demeanor and or behavior. Lastly, I just want to ask you if there is somebody navigating abuse right now and they're saying to themselves, they don't know if this is ever going to end or if they're going to survive this situation. I just want you to look directly in this camera here and give them a word of encouragement.
I want you, as a woman or a man, to look at yourself deep down in the gut area and in the heart area and say to yourself, why am I going through this? How much longer am I going to go through this? If you're 14, you 11, you 10, you 30, you 40, and you're going through so much with abuse, physical, sexual, psychological, mental, it's time for you to look at yourself and say, I'm worth more, male or female. I'm worth more. I can be loved. I can love myself first. And I can be loved. I don't have to go through this any longer. I'm a masterpiece. I was created for a purpose and for a reason to be on this earth, not to go through this abuse. It's my time to walk away, to get free, so I can be the man, the woman that I'm really supposed to be. In this society and in this nation, it's time now to be able to look at yourself and say, I'm worthy. I have self-value. And I am somebody.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Winston. It has been a powerful conversation, one that I hope echoes for years to come for people that watch this. And I hope that someone somewhere purchases this book and is able to start their journey of healing and restoration and be able to start moving forward with their life and recognize their own greatness. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this episode of Community Connections. As always, I am your host, Anna Orr. This is aired on OROMIA11. I look forward to connecting again with you soon. Please be sure to check out the Amazon link that will be attached to this episode so that you can purchase Dr. M.J Winston's book, Behind the Laugh. And if you are interested in being a part of Bridges of Hope Leadership Academy, please make sure that you reach out to her so that you can start your journey to refocusing your life and honing the skills of leadership necessary to build a greater community amongst us.